What's up, guys? This is Coach Grant with First Down Training, and today we're going to be breaking down 3 press releases you guys can use against a physical DB. So this is a common question that I get asked a lot. How do I beat a physical DB off the line? A guy's going to try to get hands, and we're going to talk about 3 different things that you guys can do to make sure that you get separation in these situations on like a longer route like a dig, a quicker or like a longer route like this, maybe like post-out concept, then a quicker route like a slant, okay? And guys, if you want access to a video, that's 20 different press releases. So all 20 releases that I believe that I teach, when to use it, game situations, when to use it, and then drills to improve those specific releases along with technical points and game film examples of those releases. Check out that very first link in the description. It says 20 press releases, a full 45-minute long video, almost an hour-long video on all press releases, everything that you need to know about press releases. Hope to get you guys on that video soon. Let's get started with this breakdown. So this first release here is going to be just this quick little double up here by Davante Adams. So he's going to hit him with a quick right-left, take the inside, right, take the inside release, and then run this dig, right? So we're going to be talking about how we got to have a plan off the line to beat this guy's hands when he's trying to be physical, and how my feet got to be sudden. So let's watch this thing full speed. So it hits him with a 1-2, swats that hand off, and you see the separation he's able to get simply because of what he's able to do at the line. One of the best in the game off the line, and that's how we're going to take a look at it today, right? So anytime we decide to work a release, whether it's something quick, right? And you guys got to understand when to use these things, right? If I'm a first read, I probably want to give him something a little bit quicker, right? So I hit him with this quick 1-2, right? And you see when he hits him with this 1-2, he's very sudden with his feet, right? While he's sudden with his feet, though, he still steps outside the DB's frame. He still steps outside of his shoulder, and he's leaning with his upper half. We still can't forget about my technique when I know that this guy's going to get hands. That's something that a lot of people struggle with, is they could do these releases when it's against regular, like they're running routes versus air or whatever, and they're working the situation. It's easy to do. But when you're against a live DB who's going to get hands, it's like you rush the movement. You rush the steps. Make sure we commit to the steps. Make sure I take a full release. Now, when this DB is going to be here and he's going to try to get hands, you guys got to understand, if I'm going to try to work him back outside and you want to take an inside release, which hand do you have to beat? It's really not that complicated. You got to beat his inside hand, right? So in this case, it's his right arm. You got to beat his right arm, because if you get his right arm off and you get him leaning on this outside leg and you swat his hands, his hips are going to lock out, and then we got separation. Bam, we're off a press. We're beating this physical DB. That's all it is. So you see when he hits him with this, that DB tries to throw those hands out as a recovery. He tries to jam. He tries to give this two-handed jam. He's not even there with the left hand. Because I'm sudden with my feet, that left hand does not play a factor. Now he throws that right hand. Now what do I have to do? And this is something that you guys got to continuously rep while you're in the offseason, because in the game it's got to be second nature. That's why these guys are so talented, because it's all second nature for them. So I'm here, I rip underneath with that right arm, and I swat him off. And you see, same thing. You swat that arm, look what happens. Hips lock out, no hands, very bad position for him to be in, and he doesn't need to do too much with his hands. That's another thing, fellas. You guys got to have a plan for your hands when you're up against a physical guy, more physical DB. Now, here's the thing, though. If you're a smaller guy, right, if you're a smaller receiver and you're facing a bigger DB, like a linebacker type, strong safety walk down, and he's trying to get physical, I probably want to beat him with a couple different other things, like we're going to talk about later in this video. I probably don't want to sit there and try to hand fight the guy. I want to beat him with quickness, and this is how you use quickness. But again, you got to always have a plan for your hand. So I know I just got to beat this right arm. I rip back underneath. I swat him up. I swat at that wrist, point of control, right? Obviously, that's just as part of muscle memory. He's not thinking about all this, and then I'm able to get up into that route. Get off the press. Look at the separation he's able to get, and when you're able to run crisp routes like this, that separation is a mile of separation, especially at this level. That's a great job. Again, so one of the first things, this double up release, first thing you can do to beat a physical guy is hit him with a quick double up release, an in-out release, right? If you want to take an inside leverage, have a plan for my hands. Just know that whichever release you want to take, that's the arm you got to beat. Let's say you want to take an outside release here and he's head up, right? Maybe I hit him with an out back in release. Maybe I hit him with a right left, and then what arm do you got to beat? Got to beat his outside arm. So maybe I rip back underneath and swat with my left arm, get that hand off, and then I'm able to take the outside release. It's all about building up these little things. Don't make it too complicated. You don't want to have too many things going on at one time. Don't make it too complicated. Have a plan for your hands. Have a plan for your feet. Be sudden. Don't be afraid to be physical. Let's watch it again full speed. So hits him with a 1-2. Swat that hand off. Let's push up vertical. And then I break this thing off. Great route here by Davante Adams. All right, so now we're going to be looking at this clip here. Jamal Adams is going to try to just choke digs right off the line. Now, this I wouldn't consider it as a release, right? But this is more so something that you guys need to be able to do when you maybe don't have time to get off of a release, right? Maybe this is like the famous 7-on-7 style type DB when there's no change in the snap count, right? Adams obviously guessed the snap count pretty good here, or they were giving it away. I don't know what it is, but he got a great jump on this. Adams for sure got a great jump on the snap of the ball, which is going to happen, right? It's going to happen. You got to be prepared for everything. But again, in 7-on-7, like one-on-ones, nobody ever goes on two, right? They're not going to go set go, and then nobody's going to move, and that DB's going to jam you. So the DB already has the advantage when it comes to the snap, right? Obviously not on the route, but off the snap. So this is something that you guys can focus on when you're in those situations. Maybe you're in a camp setting, practice setting, where you got to impress a coach or whatever. So when they come at you and they try to choke you, the main thing that you got to remember is you got to keep a good pad level and a good posture and have good balance right here, right? Because if this guy comes off the line, he tries to choke you, he tries to get around your neck, or not around your neck, but he tries to just jam you, right? That's pretty much all I'm saying. When he lunges at you, look at his base. His base is off balance. He has no legs right now. He's just all upper half. He's trying to just muscle you and trying to just knock you completely off this route, right? Because maybe he's bigger than you, maybe he thinks he's stronger than you, whatever it may be. But if I can just keep a good pad level and, again, have a plan for my hands. I don't need to do anything fancy with my feet here. I have a plan for my hands. My hands are not super low past my knees, and they're not super high intense where you can just grab me and push me back. They're nice, relaxed, ready to go. He comes at me, you got to know, I want to take an inside release. What hand do I got to beat? Got to beat his inside hand. I swat those hands off and look at him. He can't recover now because when he lunges at you, he's automatically off balance, right? So if he lunges, he's off balance. Let's work. Let's get up into the top of this route and let's pop this thing off, right? So that's a great job here by Diggs, understanding that you don't want to go backwards, right? Everybody loves to say, oh, against a guy like this, hit him with a step back release. Yeah, that's great when you don't have to work on timing, right? Yeah, that's great when you don't have to be timed up with the quarterback and maybe you're a first or a second read. A game realistic situation, you can't do a step back release, right? Is what's going to happen if you're lined up in stack, and that's the only thing that you have, right? You're in stack right here, and you take a step back release, and you run into that receiver behind you. That's not a guy. I don't recommend that release. Everybody loves to say that release. Maybe in one-on-ones, 7-on-7, where the timing ain't as important. But when you got a pass rush to a quarterback, that step back release ain't going to work, right? You got to think of something better. You got to have something quicker. You got to have more things in your arsenal than just a move that'll work when it's one-on-ones, t-shirts, and shorts, right? You got to have something that'll work when we're in a situation with pads. And this is a great situation for that. You're here, keep a great pad level. Keep a strong base. Have a plan for my hands. Don't be afraid to be physical. He tries to jam you. Let's not be scared of that, right? There are so many receivers you can just tell by their body language they're afraid to get jammed, right? They'll line up and they're real shriveled up. Their arms are real tight. Their legs are real tight together, and their chest is straight up in the air. You're going to get punked off the line. You're going to get moved right into the sideline, right? Let's take it. Let's get in a good stance. Let's be right here. Let's be ready to go. Chest down and get those hands off, okay? That's what we got to focus on. We know he's going to get physical. Good pad level. Let's fight those hands. Let's get up into the route. Have a plan. Know the release ahead of time that you want to take. Do you want to take an outside release? Do you want to take an inside release? Know that ahead of time. So when you know he comes at me, I know I got to beat that arm. I got to have a plan. I got to keep a good pad level. I want to go forward. I never want to go backwards, okay? And again, sometimes, yeah, this DB might win, but we come back, we hit him with another thing, right? Maybe we come back, and that's the crap with 7-on-7 and one-on-ones. A DB does this, and let's say he's jamming us real physical. All right, if I'm an offensive coordinator, I'm just going to run the ball over here. Let him jam the guy. Let him freaking just be so focused on being real physical. I'm just going to run the ball. I'm going to run a sweep, and then he's so focused on jamming this guy getting physical, we're going to get outside the tackle and go, right? And you see guys all the time, DBs, like they bury those receivers in 7-on-7, right? Okay, dude, I'm just gonna run the ball. Like, nice work, dude. You completely took yourself out of the play. I'm just gonna run the ball. We're gonna take it up the sideline. That's it. That's why this thing's so stupid. That's why one-on-ones and 7-on-7 I think are very stupid when it comes to this aspect. And another thing, fellas, when you're here, and this is just a tip for one-on-one, 7-on-7, you're lined up like this, and this DB's giving you no breathing room. Just step back. Just be off the ball. All of a sudden, you got all kinds of space to work on, right? That's all you got to do. You're lined up here. DB's right up on the line. Just take a step back. That's all it is. It's really not that difficult. That's what you can do in one-on-one, 7-on-7. I don't like talking about that, but so many people ask me that dang question, and it's just like, just take a step back. You're off the ball now. Okay, great. Now, what's he going to do now? Now you got room to work. Now you can work a release, and now you can get up into this route, okay? But in a game situation, this is something you got to do. Let's watch this thing again full speed. So he lunges at him. I swat those hands, take the inside release, gives this peek back. That's a really, really good route there by Diggs. All right, so now we're going to be talking about this slide release, okay? So the slide release, I wouldn't say this DB's trying to be physical right now, but he can be in this situation, right? So this is about having a plan off the line of scrimmage and using range. So if you guys have ever messaged me personally on Instagram or asked a question in the comments before, and you hear me talking about range, right? So you hear me talking about range off the line. This is exactly what I mean. So this situation, we're going to make this DB make a decision. He's either got to lunge at me like Adams did in the last clip, or he's got to shuffle with me, then I could give him a little shake. So what we do is we work this slide release. release. So Davante Adams is another great guy who does this. Justin Jefferson, you're seeing a lot of it this year. If you guys want to check out their film for more of this. And you see how he slides into this open range. Now, he's in a spot where this DB either has to shuffle with him and watch those hips. And then I could give him a 1, 2, 3, and I could shake with my upper half. I get him leaning on that outside foot. And then I can go and I get him, see, completely off balance because I hit him with that 1, 2, 3 with my upper half. Or I hit him with a 1, 2, whichever it is. Or I just slide and go if I'm running a fade. Now, if he were to be here and I were to slide and I slid in his open range because you're getting a read on him and he lunges at you because you're in a good range to where if he's going to try to get hands, he's got to initiate contact. He's got to go at you if he's going to try to be physical. And what did we learn about the Jamal Adams video? That when he lunges at you, he loses his base. Then I could just either dip this shoulder, maybe shoulder reduce and rip underneath him. I could just swat that his left arm and go back inside. Or I could do a number of different things, right? But if you're in that range to where he's got to make a decision to either shuffle or address you, and he can't, because like right here, look at this spot right here. So like this range, if he stuck his arm out and they both stood like that, he stuck his arm out, he wouldn't be able to touch him. So he has to lean forward. And when he leans forward, his pad level's going forward, might be a little off balance. He's more susceptible to me swatting him by if I got a plan for my hands. It's all about reacting. Got to read the DB and then react. Let's watch this thing full speed. There's another great release. That slide release is great against a physical guy, especially one who likes to lunge. And maybe when you take an outside release, you just slide and beat him to the outside. There's a lot of different things you could do there. All right, guys, I really want to thank you for watching. I really appreciate it. Again, if you guys want to get access to a video, 20 press releases, all the technique behind every single press release that I teach, all the press releases that you see worked explained, like you see a lot of pro guys work all these releases. It's all explained with specific drills for each one, certain game film examples for each one, and then also when to use the release, the situation, the read, how the DB should be playing when you make that read. Link in the description, 20 press releases. And also, if you guys have any questions at all, leave those in the comments. I'll get back to you as soon as possible. I'll see you guys next time.